Welcome to Small Steps. My name's Seth Potts, and I want to show you how to use pictures in comment boxes. If you're not familiar with what the comment boxes are, you can see they're denoted here with these little red triangles in the top right corner of these cells. What they're typically used for, what I see the most often, is just to have notes in for different items. So when you hover over those cells, that little red triangle, it'll pop out like a box that has notes in it. Now, I basically discovered the ability to put photos in here when another local crime analyst had sent out a list of stolen items from a storage unit. There's a bunch of designer bags that were stored in there and stolen, and there's quite a few, 15 to 20 if I recall correctly. So it was a longer list of these. So when they sent it out, they didn't want to send it out with just a larger document with just a whole bunch of photos. It took up a lot of space. So the way they did this, I thought was actually quite creative, and in the end is something that I've been able to use multiple times since. So what I have here is just as an example, just a couple rows and just a few columns here, just some quick example, just be like some case numbers, date of the incident, and for this I just did a suspect vehicle. I just took some stock photos to do this, but to see kind of how it works here, see what those um, the red triangles are. When you hover over each of those cells where that is, these are where I've already added these photos in the comments. So you see all you have to do is hover over it and those pictures pop up, and then when you hover your cursor away from it, they disappear. So I have this very small list here, but I was able to add these photos as visuals for this information without having them stand out in the way. So how you do this, we're going to click on the field that we're wanting to add a comment to. You can go up to the top and go to the Review tab, and there's a section for comments here. We are going to add New Comment, and the way it automatically pops up it'll just have my name on here, default, and it would be the same for whatever name is on your license there. So if you don't delete this out, it will stay even with a photo in the background, so I go ahead and delete that out. Now I'll note here, this next part, you want to avoid this. It took me a couple tries to figure out what I was doing wrong. If you right click anywhere in the middle of the box and go to Format Comment, you only get this one option for font, so you're only able to change the font type, style, size, things like that. That's not what we want. So you'll see the way to do this, you get right up on the edge where that turns to that four-way arrow and right click there and do the same Format Comment. Now you see we have more options here, and the tab we're looking for is the colors and lines. And then in the fill section, we want it to be the fill effects, and a couple more tabs here, and we're going to select picture. Now I've saved these on my computer, but they give you a couple options. OneDrive, being image search, you could search in there and it'll pull up choices. But I have these specific photos, so I just have stock photos that I put in here, obviously. But what you put whatever pictures you've saved wherever you want to grab those from. If you have it saved in your computer, it'll pull up to this normal menu and go to the item there, and we'll give you a little preview of it here. One more thing to note is this: I like using this lock picture aspect ratio. What this does is it doesn't allow you to stretch the image out. It will essentially, if you don't stretch it the right way, it'll just cut off part of the picture, but it'll keep the same shape and everything. It won't stretch it out. So I typically click on that. When we add that in, it kind of looks weird up here, but when you click OK, it'll pop out in that little box there. So, and here's what I mean when I say stretch it out. So you give it your best shot of stretching it out to whatever size you want. You see, if I don't do it just right, it'll start cutting off the image, but it won't stretch the vehicle to be a different kind of a different shape than what it should be here. So you just get that put on there, however, whatever size you want, and when you're done with that, you can click off of that, and you see it's added that little red triangle, and you can hover above, and now you have quick little pictures that pop out without cluttering up this page of information. And you can, like I say, use this for photos of pretty much anything. Or, I mean, if you're really just wanting to add those notes, you can go in and do the same thing with a comment and just use the text as is as well. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe. The next video coming up is over automatically opening multiple files from a folder when opening Excel.